Hey guys, and welcome back from the Sims 4 speed building video. Today we are starting a big build. I was thinking what to call that then. This is the first part of my apartment build video. Well, of my apartment build rather. So I decided that I wanted to make like a little apartment building. It's not like a big skyscraper kind of apartment building or anything. It's just a more suburban sort of set of apartments. And I started building it and then realised this is going to be quite a big build. So I'm gonna separate it into a couple of videos, maybe 3. On the inside there are four apartments. So I think maybe I'll need 2 more parts if I can furnish 2 apartments per video. We shall see what happens. But as you can tell, this is definitely a very suburban kind of build. Already it's looking very, suburban, like big house. So this could have, one day been a big, like, more kind of manor house, a larger house on its own, and it's been converted into 4 separate smaller apartments. I found a picture of this kind of build on Google Images and went, hey, that looks really cool, let's do that. So the bits that I really liked was the kind of shape and this front section. So it had, each apartment has its own like little front balcony, and then there's like the little kind of juts out of building, so it's not completely flat. And then there's a nice little porch bit for the front door. So I thought that was really cute. And the original building, like the siding on it was like pink. It was like, oh no, it wasn't the siding. The siding was white, but the bricks were really pink. And there isn't a really pink brick in The Sims that looks good. So I was tempted to do pink siding, but that looked quite Barbie, so I decided against it. But as you can see, nice dark roof, and yeah, using a whole bunch of different things. I did a whole bunch of different packs in this build. There's not, you're gonna have to have a lot of packs if you want to download this. And the link will be on the 3rd video to download this from the gallery, because I've not finished it yet. And I didn't think that you'd want a semi-finished build on the gallery. It just, would be a bit odd. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit different in that respect, because, the build isn't done yet. But this video is going to be the exterior, the floor plan, and putting down a few bits of placement furniture so I don't forget what I want each of the rooms to be, and then some of the exterior in terms of like landscaping and stuff. But yeah, as you can see, I'm doing a bunch of brickwork in certain sections, so kind of the juts out that would be like, I don't know, like fireplaces and stuff like that, if you think, like, if you hark back to what this house used to be. And then we've got some nice siding along it as well. And then each, as I said, that each, ooh, nice bit of screenshot there. Each apartment has its own little balcony, so each of them has one of the nice sliding doors to that balcony. And yeah, I'm really wanting to make sure that this looks nice, so I'm trying to furnish it with a bunch of things, and not just like on the inside, but on the outside too. So I decided to use the spandrels across the balcony areas, and it just kind of fills it in a little bit, because otherwise it looks a bit like, oh, that's a really quick like join between the floor and the bit of fence. So fills it in a little bit. I feel like is my favorite word. Do you guys say a lot, or like or I wonder. Anyway, there's a bit of hedging along the front, along with a few flowers. Wanted to make sure that it looks, nice and, like someone maintained it. Because apartment buildings generally have like a gardener, or someone in that apartment is, likes gardening, and they kind of just keep on top of it. I would quite like to use the like the mail slots that there are in the apartment buildings in City Living, but I can't seem to find them anywhere. So instead, I've just put 4 different mailboxes on the patio at the front. If anyone knows how to get the mail slots from City Living, please let me know. Please put a comment down in the comment section. I will read it and I will use it, and then it doesn't look quite as odd. Because I've got to admit that 4 mailboxes out the front of a house, even an apartment, looks weird. It'd be a lot nicer just to have it in like the front entrance way, to have those there. So yeah. So please, if anyone knows, please tell me. And then I was just putting a few bits and bobs that I saw around in certain sections, just to be like, hey, that looks cool. And of course, a bit of foliage. Gotta have a bit of foliage and a bit of landscaping. So I've just got a couple of trees, with, some rocks, some flowers, bits of grass, and of course a little bit of terrain paint. Of course, if this build was done after we get the new terrain manipulation tools, I would totally make this garden like a little bit higgledy-piggledy. Have things a bit higher, a bit lower. I can't wait for the update that's going to come in November. I really hope it's near the start of November, like just before the Get Famous pack comes out, but who knows, fingers crossed. But yeah, I'd love it so much. Anyway, I've made some little like kind of water feature ponds out the front, just to make use of the space and to make it a little bit interesting, because I feel that an apartment complex building thing like this would have something a little bit fancy out the front, and if it didn't, then it'd probably be a car park, but I didn't really want to just build a car park in front of this nice building. I thought I'd build some little ponds, especially since I don't normally do ponds. So you can see that I had a bit of fun with it. A whole bunch of like jutting water, there's little sphere things, and I've even gone as far as to use the triangle tiles. Here we go. So I've made like a little triangle path thing all the way around. Each of them, it's a little bit, it's not quite as I want it, just because of how the triangles work in the tiles, but it means that each pond has a little border, makes it stand out a little bit more. And also it's taught me how to use that tool a lot more. So yeah, I then decided that I wanted to have a bit of fencing around it, because I thought also that a big place like this would probably have, some kind of henge. What was I saying there? Fence or hedging. There we go. I must have mixed those two words together. Which kind of meant that a couple of my trees were a bit out of place, but easily fixed, easily moved. And then there's some hedges around, and I really kind of wanted to use the tiny wrought iron fencing, just because I hoped that it would match that on like the pavements and the paths and things, that's just out in the world. But that like fencing that's used just on the sidewalk doesn't match any of the fencing that we've got, and I don't understand why. Sims team, if you could potentially find this video, please can you like give us that fence? It would just be like really useful to have. It'd just be really nice to have. This idea, by the way, guys, just that, I scrapped that idea. I thought maybe we'd have like a back patio or something, but it just looked odd. Again, I thought we'd have a pool, that just looked odd. So instead I've decided to go for a little bonfire spot. A pre-warning for anyone that downloads this house when you, when it's finished. Be careful of the campfire around the, and the chairs. Like, don't add too much to that fire, as I have recently found out, and you'll see on Monday's Year in The Sims video, it's a little bit of a fire hazard. Yeah. Oh, I didn't realise I haven't played a lot with those fireplaces, and if you add too many logs, it can get a bit, hairy, a bit tense. But yeah, I thought that area at the back looks like really cute now, and I've got going to try and do a little bit of a path. I'm not sure the path looks great, but maybe when more like foliage and stuff is added, it would look quite cool. Yeah. I love making things in The Sims and just trying to get them just right. It's brilliant, and I cannot wait for more stuff to be added to The Sims because it's just fantastic. I love this game so much. I think I'm about to set, here we go, we're sectioning off the interior. So, as you can see, the main bits of each apartment is either side of the kind of juts. I'd say bays, but they're not really bays, they're like rectangular bays. And initially I was going to have a little laundry room downstairs at the back, which is a section you could see that I sectioned off. But instead, it's going to be upstairs. So I made each of the apartments slightly bigger, but in an odd way. So the apartments on the bottom floor are kind of like a flipped reversal-ish with a little bit added compared to the ones on the top floor. It's very odd. I didn't want any of them to be exactly the same, and none of the layouts inside of each of the apartments are the same. So the two on the bottom floor have the same like surface area as the two on the top, but I separate them in completely different ways. So some of them have 2 bedrooms, some of them have 3 bedrooms, but they've all got like 2 bathrooms, a dining room, a kitchen, and a living room space. They're not all completely separated, but you'll see what I mean in a second. So I'm just going to go through and separate all the sections into how I kind of want it, and then I'm going to place little bits of furniture here and there so that I can remember where things are going. So you see, I'll just stick a toilet in the bathrooms, a sink, and a couple of a fridge, a couple of cabinets, and a cooker, a dining table here and there, and of course some beds into the rooms that I fancied. Also, part of this is just, me putting the things in. I'm noticing whether the room is too big or too small. As you saw then, the room with the double bed was massive. It still is huge, but I think it's a little bit more manageable now. It's a little bit smaller. And of course, putting in some doors. Same again with the other side. So as you can see, I'm making it different. This is going to have 3 bedrooms, 2 toilets, and I can't actually remember how I separate this. Yeah, it's not going to stay quite like this, I don't think. I think this is pretty much an open kind of plan here. Or at least it will be in a minute, maybe. Yeah. It's got a couple of like separating walls, but I'm not sure how that's going to work. But again, just putting in a little table, fridge, a couple of cabinets, and some couches and a TV, just to kind of signify where things I think are going to go. Toilets, and I think this apartment's going to be for like 2 parents and 2 children, hence the double bed and 2 singles. Upstairs, the next one, it's going to have another bedroom back there. I think I'm finding it easier now that I've learned to separate rooms off like this. I'm finding a lot easier to build and like kind of envision where things are going to be. I didn't ever used to do this when I was building. I would just kind of build an exterior and then higgledy-piggledy try and put the stuff in, and once I'd like worked on a room and got it really perfect, I didn't want to move it. So I think by designing this bit first, it's working out. I think my end houses are ending out much better than they did before. So again, other apartment, it's got 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and then it's got a big open living, dining, eating room. And then here we go. I'm just putting the bits in to remind me where I want them in the future. And then after I've done placing these bits of furniture, I'm actually going to put in some more windows. Woohoo! So yeah, that apartment there could be ready for 5 Sims. So, and I'm trying to make sure that I have variety in the number of Sims that can live in each house. It's just, going to keep things together. Ooh, there is the laundry room. I'm going to do that but by the end of the video. How cool is that? And I'm just putting a few items in of things that, I definitely think that I want in each of the houses. As you can see, I'm just checking that each of the houses looks a little bit different. I say houses, apartments. And yeah, on to furnishing some of the communal areas. So this is just like an upstairs landing bit, really, and wasn't quite sure what to do. This is, of course, the laundry. Pardon me. And I was trying to find some nice flooring and everything that wasn't too, offensive and weird. And I've got, 5 washing machines and 5 tumble dryers, so that should be enough if you were able to occupy all of the rooms. Obviously, I think the way that you'd play with this house, if you wanted to, was to, pick which house you want to live in and, get rid of all the stuff in the other rooms, because this might end up being a little bit laggy from how many items there are. I'm not sure, we'll see how it goes. And, you just play with that room and, lock the doors to the other apartments. Or, if you fancied, you could have a bit of a mixed kind of household, and you play with a couple of different couples or something, and they each live in a different apartment, and maybe you just pay attention to one couple for a day and then another couple for the next day, and just kind of see how they do and how they work on their own when you're paying attention to someone else. But yeah, so plenty of stuff. But I think there's a couple of ways to play with this house, which I'm actually going to find quite interesting doing. I think I'm definitely going to try and play with this house. I don't always play with the houses that I build. But yeah, the laundry room is coming along quite nicely, I think. Got enough laundry things, machines I mean. Got some storage, some CCTV cameras. I thought that'd be quite cool. I might put some of those on the outside as well. And come up a couple of boxes here and there to kind of be storage or something, and plenty of detergent, because you always need washing detergent. Yeah, I think that's about it for that room. I think it looks pretty good. I've just started sizing down some of the lights in the communal areas, and I think I'm about to realise, once I put some couches in, I've just decided to put some couches up here and a rug. Maybe you're waiting for your dad or someone to come home with a house key, or you want to go out with your friends and you don't want them to come in and meet your embarrassing parents, so you just make them sit on the couch or something. But yeah, and then I thought I'd get some pin boards up. They look quite cool. And downstairs there's going to be the notice boards from City Living in the apartments. They're going to be downstairs in the entranceway. A couple of paintings, and I think that's about it. A little bit of flowers, nothing too much. Oh, a mirror. And then at this point I realised I've not put any more windows anywhere, so I'm going to go around and window the entire building. I think all the windows end up being pretty uniform. We just use these small base game windows, I think all the way around the house pretty much. Doing a couple of windows in each house. Oh, we use some of these windows as well. They're all space game. Pretty much all the way around the build, in varying, back and forths. Yeah, I think this build is looking pretty good so far. Hopefully I can furnish each house in a bit of a different style, and yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. So last bit is to furnish downstairs, and to do this I have used the bb.show hidden objects cheat. This is where I was really trying to find those mailboxes from City Living, because I can't seem to find them in here. Maybe I skipped over them or something, or maybe they're not actually in this section. If you guys know, please tell me, but as you can see, I'm searching pretty hard through the catalogue and cannot find them at all. I did find a little power transformer thing, which I do end up putting outside as well, because I just think that's kind of cool. But it doesn't seem to be here, so definitely, if you know, let me know. But then I decided that we had to furnish the rest of downstairs, and since I put on the bb.show hidden objects cheat on, I now have like so many more objects that I just don't notice. Because I don't use that cheat very often. It's only when I know I'm looking for something specific. Normally to decorate a shelf. Like I did in... I don't know which build it was. I think it was my manor house in the kitchen. There's a bunch of shelves and I put some pans on it and stuff like that. Oh, and I remember that time I was looking through it and I really wanted to find the coffee and I couldn't find it. There's a bag of coffee that you use, that's used when you use the the coffee grinder with the fancy machine. And I couldn't find it. That was really annoying. It's in there somewhere. But anyway, you know. I think this is about it. Just putting in the rug, and I think there's going to be a couple of screenshots of the outside, the communal areas, and also of the floor plan. Oh, wait, before that, we're going to put in some gardening bits. A couple of planters for any keen gardeners in the apartments. Little path as well, I think so. Oh, yeah, little path. Gotta love little path, though that was quite a wonky path. Oh, this also looks a little bit harsh, and I might need to change that up a little bit. But here we go. I think that looks quite nice. Although that screenshot looked a little bit fuzzy. What do you think? Oh, I think this area is so cute. I like this build already. I think there are a couple of walls on the outside that need, like, a bit of decoration. I do like that room. Good laundry room. Gotta be said, good laundry room. Anyway, guys, this is only the first part of, I think, about 3, so please stick around for more, and of course, if you've enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, comment anything down in the description below, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!